Hello, my name is Jackson Martinez, and for my event, I will be hosting live music in a beer garden for a Texas Tech baseball game. So a little about the event. It's going to be hosted by Texas Tech Athletics. It's going to be, as I said before, beer garden, live music, and there's going to be some food. Where it's going to be at Lubbock Municipal Coliseum, which is just the grass lot across from the baseball field. It's going to coincide with the Central Florida game on Saturday, May 10th. And why we're going to do it is just to celebrate the last homestand of the year and also celebrate the seniors on the baseball team. So the goals for this event are have revenues of $25,000 plus. We also want to have above average turnout for the game. We want to provide unique experiences for the attendees. And we also want to keep those customers. So we're going to do all the ticketing online, and that way we'll be able to see if the attendees also go to other events. And with that, we want to give them a great experience and have them come back. So we're looking for a customer retention rate of 60%. So the event schedule, the Texas Tech versus Central Florida game's it starts at 2 and it'll go to about 5, maybe 5:30. But the beer garden and live music, we're actually going to have 2 sessions. We're going to have one before, which will be 11 to 2. Then we're also going to have one after from 5 to 8. So some event details. It's going to be $50 to enter. After looking at some major league, some MLB and minor league price points, beer festivals, beer gardens were anywhere from $35 were the lowest to up to almost $100, but most of them were $40 to $65. So I thought a good price point for this event would be $50. And with that entry, you're going to get access to both sessions and 8 free drink vouchers. So the important thing to note here is that tickets for the game will be separate. So session 1, we're going to have the DJ, which is DJ Slick. And for session 2, we're going to have a country cover band, which is Gary Nix and West Texas Band. So the breweries we're going to have come are all local Lubbock breweries, just to keep the traveling costs low. So the 5 that we chose were the Brewery LBK, Two Docks Brewing Co., Good Line Beer Co., Mano Negra Brewing Co., and Triple J Chop House and Brew Co. So how we're going to market this event? We're going to rely heavily on social media. We're also going to rely on email marketing for those who have attended Texas Tech athletic events before. Just send them emails about this event. Then we're also going to post it on the TTU Athletics website. And then we also believe that purchasing a couple shout outs on local radio stations will help us to reach our target market. We believe social media will do most of the heavy lifting, but we believe this combination will help us reach that the college kids who are of age to about 50 years old, and just get it throughout the community because it'll really be a community event. And for our sponsors, I'll explain the price points in a second. We're going to have 5 food trucks. Cool House, their ice cream, Streets of Pizza, Rollin' Bros, Texas Mac Shack, Mijo's Tex-Mex Barbecue are the food trucks. We're going to have Overton Hotel, Red Raider Outfitter, Uber, because it's a drinking event. Of course, you need responsible ways to get home, and the breweries. So the pricing, the food trucks, we're going to charge $1,500 to come set up, but then everything they sell, they'll keep. Overton Hotel, just $3,000 to come set up, help spread their word so that you can host, because they host a lot of events there. So they'll spread the word about what they do. Red Raider Outfitter, be able to sell their products to Texas Tech fans, perfect place to do so. Uber, just great way, as I said, responsible rides. And breweries, they'll pay an upfront fee of $3,000, and I'll get into the brewery number a little bit more. So this sponsorship package, what it includes is going to be tents for operation at the event. We're going to have signage throughout the event and also on the walkways in the stadium. It's going to include multiple references by the public address announcer. And we're also going to give 10 free passes to the event, to each sponsor. The only one we won't is Uber, just because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to give them it. So then the food trucks and breweries, as I said, will keep all earnings off additional sales. So a little bit more about the breakdown of that entry fee, how Texas Tech will make a lot of money. So for every $50, $7 of it goes to Texas Tech. The remaining $43 is split between the 5 breweries. And so the breweries, the additional sales won't be the free drinks, but if people come and want more than the free drinks, they'll also get money from that. And here's the breakdown for that. So we're expecting about 3,500 ticket sales to the event. So the Texas Tech share, you can see $7, bringing home about 24.5 thousand. Then for the breweries, the same sales number, but at 43, it'll be 150 grand to split amongst the 5, which it breaks down to 30 grand each. So for parking for this event, as you can see, number 1 is where the event's going to happen. Number 2 is going to be primary parking. Usually parking for this lot during football games is free, but since it's going to be a large event, community event, so there's going to be a lot of people, we're going to actually charge $5. Number 3 is just additional parking. There's parking garage there, but it's not owned by Texas Tech, so that's why I put not revenue, because a third party owns it. And we're also going to do our ride sharing over here by 3rd Street in Boston, just because this area by the stadiums gets kind of full. It gets full and hard to get people in and out, so we'll just move the ride sharing across the street because there's a bridge to get you across the freeway. So the logistics of the event, one day prior, the main things we'll have to do, put up a fence around the Coliseum just so that we can make sure it's a ticketed event, set up tents for all the sponsors. We're going to set up porta potties. Then we're going to set up the signs at the event and in the stadium. Day of, we'll be assist and accommodate the sponsors as needed, scan tickets. It being all online, we won't have to deal with cash, which will be nice. And then the day after, we'll just tear down the event, which will be pick up garbage, basically undo everything we did on day 1 or setup day. Some contingency plans. We're going to have this event rain or shine. The only other thing is if the game gets canceled or something, we do hope to move it to the Sunday after. That'd be the final game this season. The only difference would be that the game, instead of being at 2, would be at 1. So we just adjust some times a little bit. And we'd also make sure to let in our contracts know if the game gets canceled, we would still host it for Sunday. So that's something we'd include. And we just also want to have backup breweries and food trucks on call just in case. So some numbers to consider: average attendance for Texas Tech games, little above $4,000 or 4,000. The largest crowd ever was a NCAA regional, which was 5,814. So predicted attendance for the game, we're hoping of 5,200. And as beer festival attendance is usually between 3,000 to 4,000. So that's some things we had in mind when figuring out the finances. So here's a little breakdown. So over here on the left, we have the revenues. You can see, of course, from the sponsors, a good chunk, then from events and games, attendance to the event, parking, then additional game tickets. So that's basically above average what Tech usually does. So that total revenue is $83,000. Costs, we got to pay the people, music performers. That's going to be $3,000. Additional security. So a key number for football is $11,000 to have security at a college football game. So even though baseball's not as big, it is a community event, alcohol. So we do want to have extra security. Additional staffing, $5,000. Concession stands loss because we're bringing in food and beer. We do expect not to make as much at the game, so gotta factor that in. Marketing costs for the radio shoutouts, $1,000. Contingency budget, $5,000, and the free tickets to the event that we'll give to the sponsors and keep for Texas Tech athletics is going to be $30,000. And just at the end of the event, after everything's wrapped up, we are going to follow up with all our sponsors, see how it went, and just see if they'd be interested in making this a yearly thing. And here are my sources.